Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be reacting to Nilah the Joy Unbound. Now, I know nothing about this champion whatsoever. I don't know the story. I don't know the lore. I think the only thing I know about Nilah is that she is a demon. All right, if you're new here, what I usually do is I like to go through their biography page, take a look at their story. Then we try to check out any cinematics they might be in, take a look at their gameplay, preview, and things like that. Then we'll get into like their skins and their Fandom Wiki. And then towards the very end, we'll do their Legends of Runeterra voice lines, their interactions in game, and such things like that. All right, let's start off with the biography page here for Nilah. Now, I know the other thing I do know about her is that she's like relatively newer of a champion in League. I'm not quite sure when she actually did come out, though. All right, the quote here says, "Bliss in life and bliss forever after." Okay, one more thing that I do know. She's like the demon of joy, right? Which is a little weird to me that there's a demon of joy. All right, role is marksman. Region is Bilgewater. I did not see that for any reason. Okay, so Bilgewater. Interesting. So related champions, what do we have here? Oh, okay, we have Graves, Alawi, Viego, and Fiddlesticks, of course. All right, and our paragraph here says, Nilah is an ascetic warrior from a distant land seeking the world's deadliest, most titanic opponents so that she might challenge and destroy them. Having won her power through an encounter with the long-imprisoned demon of joy, she has no emotions other than unceasing jubilation, a small price to pay for the vast strength she now possesses. Channeling the demon's liquid form into a blade of unparalleled might, she stands defiant against ancient threats long forgotten. Okay, so a couple things I learned here. So the demon of joy was imprisoned for a long time. She won the power, apparently, and they're channeling the demon's liquid form into an unparalleled might. Very interesting stuff here. All right, let's go ahead and get into the full biography. You know what vibe she's giving off? I haven't fully watched this show, but I need to, is Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm getting like waterbender vibes, you know what I mean? A confident and joyful woman who always wears an eerie smile. Nilah's sudden arrival in Bilgewater has sent the city into an uproar. Her duels with rampaging sea serpents defy the limits of human ability. Racing across the surface of the open ocean with a whip blade formed from glittering prismatic water, she scales the great beasts before dramatically slaying them, pausing only to thank her worthy enemies for their efforts. Any threat taller than a house is guaranteed to draw her into combat, and the deadlier and physically larger than that threat is, the more determined she becomes to challenge and destroy it. So she's taken out full-on like giant krakens in the water. That's kind of crazy and also cool at the same time. Her strength and origins are shrouded in mystery, yet the truth known only to Nilah is that she once had a different name and lived a very different life. The precocious child of a large Cathcani family, the girl who would become Nilah was not a warrior at all. Rather, she was a lanky bookworm with an interest in myths and legends. Cathcan had known relative peace since its neighbor Camivor's collapse almost 1,000 years prior. Okay, so it's neighbored to Camivor, and had no further need for great warriors or storied heroes, or at least that's what Nilah believed. Wishing the age of heroes had never ended, she collected and obsessed over colorful tales of old, epics of great beasts and shining warriors who clashed beneath the eyes of the gods, back when the world was young and humanity's enemies were 1,000-fold. She read of the Mad King Viego and his tragic fall, the genesis of the first dragons, and the foundation of the universe in the Cathcan tradition. Nilah memorized each in turn, knowing in her heart that their color and magic were more than simple fiction. One story in particular was her favorite, The Cycle of Ashlesh. It spoke of the fantastical Lord of Joy, Ashlesh, a many-limbed beast who menaced the world along with its 9 ferocious siblings. Oh, so, okay. 9 ferocious siblings, meaning, you know, the 9 other demons. Hungering for primal joy, Ashlesh attempted to consume the realm of the gods, but the gods struck the monster down, trapping it deep below the earth in an endless shimmering lake within the 7th layer of the underworld. There it would be guarded by a mythical order of heroes. An order of heroes that, after unraveling the story's many riddles, Nilah realized was beneath her very feet in the heart of the Cathcani capital. Overcome with excitement, she struck out to find this hidden order, to learn its secrets, and perhaps even stand among the heroes as an equal. This is definitely like a weird, well, not weird, it's definitely totally different demon biography than all the others so far, obviously. And then she was gone. All knowledge of the girl she was, her face, her voice, her true name was erased from living memory. Records curled and evaporated, writing vanished from walls and texts, and words failed on the tongues of her friends and family. It was as though Nilah had never been born at all. The woman who resurfaced 10 years later was a stranger to her homeland, unbound from the world she knew, yet possessed of a strange smile and an unending, ceaseless joy. That's pretty creepy, like a demon that just always smiles. Whatever happened to her during her long absence, she would not say. Perhaps she met the mythical order after all, and they trained her in the arts of magic and war. Perhaps she stood face to face with the primordial demon Ashlesh, battling it in the apocryphal darkness for a decade before finally emerging triumphant. Perhaps this wasn't the girl at all, but a pretender wearing her flesh, or maybe the truth was somewhere in between. Whoever or whatever she was, she began calling herself Nilah, the name of the legendary river of fate. Okay, so we don't know her true original name, but Nilah is named after the legendary river of fate. And then her work began. Possessed of wiry acrobatic strength and wielding a liquid blade of incalculable might, she embarked on a conquest of the greatest threats of ancient myth. Grandmother Viper, the invincible progenitor of all carnivoran dragons, Imago, demon of change and scourge of the Carnelian Valley, the mad demigod Nabavelicus, perpetrator of countless atrocities. Okay, so these are some crazy names going on here. So it looks like, I'm assuming this Imago, demon of change, is a lesser, like smaller demon that's like not within the top 10. Each new foe rises against Nilah in challenge, and each is snuffed out in a ferocious battle of color and fury, dazzling all witnesses. So my question is this whole wanting to challenge all these big named, demons or creatures and things like that, does that come from the original person before Nilah was taken over by the demon? I wonder. Nilah's own legend grows with every victory, and with it, an epic tale has begun to take shape. Following her journey through strange lands near and far, at her side is the power of Ashlesh itself, which Nilah wields against other evils that might one day threaten the safety of Cathcon. In her heart is the memory of what she has lost, and the knowledge of what is to come, driving her to face greater and greater opponents wherever they might be found. Whatever happened to that lanky girl who was buried in books, Nilah now faces her future with unbridled bliss. Her mere presence inspires others to fight alongside her, while her deeds ensure that people remember the hero she has become, even if they cannot remember the woman she once was. Facing the mythological villains of Runeterra with unerring glee, she will challenge the end itself if it means she can protect those who cannot protect themselves. This is a very different demon than, say, Fiddlesticks or even Evelyn, right? Like, this is, it's not so much technically an evil demon, or maybe. I mean, we're very early in, right? But Fiddlesticks and Evelyn, you can know they're evil within like 2 seconds. Not even 1 second, right? Let's find out more. All right, the story we're going to be reading for Nilah is called An Intimate Evening at Oyster Bill. So I'm assuming this is Graves. Yeah, it is Graves. I get Graves and like Gangplank kind of looks similar-ish, but this is definitely Graves. All right, so it says, "You will know joy, you will be a hero, and you will pass into legend as all great heroes do. The only price I ask for such treasures is you." The Cycle of Ashlesh, Chapter 10, verse 7. So that was the book that the, I guess, person that was Nilah before was obsessed with. Bilgewater isn't particularly known for its cuisine, which makes Oyster Bill's Oyster Bar an interesting conundrum. Located in one of the city's poorer pockets, the establishment gained an impressive reputation over the years, with the entire venture held aloft by local celebrity and proprietor Oyster Bill. Along with the Oyster Man's love of seafood and exaggerated stories, he also enjoys renting an extra room above the restaurant to various drifters and vagabonds. One such person being his most recent guest, an ascetic warrior with few belongings and an unceasing ear-to-ear smile, who just kicked Malcolm Graves horizontally through the dining room wall. Oh, okay. "I didn't even do anything," Graves moans, shifting his toothpick to the other side of his mouth. "You want one of the other ones, Senna maybe, or Rango." "Your lack of foresight now threatens millions of innocents, Malcolm Graves," replies a cheery-sounding voice in an unfamiliar accent. "I have questions about the little present you left on my shores, Viego of Camivore." The voice's owner moves purposefully through the cloud of dust and debris, her liquid whip blade suspended in a glittering arc around her. Each step illuminates the dingy restaurant as brilliant indigos and golds cast strange, dancing shadows over everything. Messy black hair frames a thin face and violet eyes, all underlined by an oddly exuberant expression, while at her side rests a glowing sphere held by two hands cast from a foreign metal. This is Nilah, and Graves has been trying to avoid her for weeks. It hasn't gone well. Nilah arrived in Bilgewater seemingly overnight, and her presence immediately raised eyebrows across the city. From her odd habit of reciting various textual passages throughout the day, that is very odd, always while making complicated gestures with her palms, to her strange seven-hand motif armor, forged from a pearlescent metal no one recognized, or her insistence that she hailed from Cathcon, even though the last full-blooded Cathcani hadn't stepped foot on Valoran soil in over 700 years. Wow. So it's crazy. I want to learn a little bit more about Camivore and Cathcani. Like, I mean, obviously they're like no longer there, but they're kind of interesting, right? Then she started killing sea serpents 40, 50, 60 fathoms long. When any ship was threatened, Nilah rushed down to the docks and soared across the surface of the sea with a wide, calm smile, her wiry frame launching itself toward the writhing necks of her foes. As word spread about her, she began to ask the port's grateful sailors if they knew anything about a so-called order of sentinels, and that was when Graves started running. Oh, okay, the Sentinels of Light, right? Now that Nilah's found him, she doesn't seem happy. Or rather, she isn't acting happy. She seems disconcertingly cheerful, with her pleasant grin that never breaks and her demeanor and voice that stay locked in unnatural positivity at all hours of every day. See, that's terrifying in its own way, right? Like just a smiling, happy demon. It's this peculiarity that makes most people unable to read her intentions, besides her pathological need to fight every big things, and that makes conversations with the woman hard to navigate. Don't know nothing about Viego, Graves lies, sifting through the rubble for his gun. I believe it was you who sealed him in Alavedra, am I correct? Nilah smiles cheerfully, taking another 2 steps forward. Her legs move in a curious, artful pattern like a coiled snake about to strike. Don't lie, you are man-sized. Killing you would be very easy for me. Okay, so maybe she just wants more info about Viego. Not that easy, Graves snorts, new destiny finally in hand. Savoring the moment to turn the tables, he fires 3 rounds directly into Nilah's torso. So new destiny finally in hand? I'm assuming that's his gun. His gun is called New Destiny. Or at least he thinks he does. The bullets seem to move around her, or maybe she moves around them. It's like firing his gun into deep water, a thought Graves finds inexplicably unsettling. Okay, so she can like create a water shield, essentially. Nilah's wide smile twitches at the sides of her mouth. Unbeknownst to Graves, she is unable to feel anger or any emotion beyond a radiant joyfulness, but she knows she would want to right now were it possible. That's so weird. She whips the gun out of his hands and knocks it to the far side of the restaurant before bisecting a metal table next to his head with a brutal second strike of her whip blade. For a brief moment, Graves swears he sees phantasmal blue hands in the air around Nilah. Ooh. But maybe this is his imagination. He's been getting hit in the head a lot lately. Okay, so that's Ashlesh. Like, that's the actual demon, right? The phantasmal blue hands. An interesting armament, Nilah muses. I imagine it works well against lesser opponents. So what does that make you, seethes Graves? But Nilah doesn't answer. Instead, she sheathes her weapon within the sphere, offering a brief recitation under her breath that Graves can't quite make out. My apologies. Based on your fighting style, you're not the sentinel I'm looking for. Sweet Tommy Kench, ain't you supposed to be some kind of hero? Graves yells, sitting up among wood fragments and twisted metal. I'm a hero too when viewed in a certain light, so lay off, will ya? Yeah, so like it is seen like she is kind of a hero protecting these ships from all these like giant serpents and krakens. Graves exhales, damn, nice magic though, I gotta respect it. Alright, Graves is kind of funny. Nilah offers another recitation, her hands shifting as she mouths the words beneath her breath, smiling ominously in the dark. Thank you, Malcolm Graves. I gave much to wield it. I would prefer if you'd call me Graves. I wouldn't, replies Nilah. There is great power in a true name, Malcolm Graves. Remember that. If you say so. Graves looks behind Nilah. You folks in the back hear that, or should we speak up? Right on cue, a voice rings out from the street. We're here for the Serpent Slayer. Nilah turns to face a half-dozen mercenaries peeking through the hole she'd ripped in the wall. Her eyes drift past the men to a massive pale something shifting on the planks behind them, and her heart skips a beat. She is often followed by disgruntled killers, but she hasn't seen one of these before. Pale something shifting. Who is this? I am she, Nilah replies, her attention fixed on the creature. What do you want exactly? You're losing our bosses a lot of money. Think you can just flood the market with serpent catch? We own those docks and those ships, and as of now, we own you. Of course, it's about money. What is that creature? Nilah asks Graves, ignoring the mercenaries. Deep Eater, mutters Graves. They chow down on anchor graves that sink to the sea floor. Gives them a taste for people. Mean and real dumb, so these idiots drag them up and sick them on marks they don't like. Oh, okay, it's just like some sort of creature, okay? Nilah's eyes flash with excitement. How big do they get? I don't know, 10, 15 oars? That one looks pretty big. Interesting, she whispers. An enemy of worth. Hey, shouts a mercenary. When I'm talking, you listen or you die. Understand what I'm saying? What are these mercenaries thinking? She's taking down serpents. Like, what? Yes, I believe I do, replies Nilah, dipping her hand into the sphere at her side. I am Nilah of the 7th layer. May our battle sing across history. Nilah whips her blade outward, its glimmering water forming 2 sharpened prongs that dance through the air with ghostly radiance. Whatever the mercenaries were expecting, it wasn't this, and they mutter nervously as the weapon shifts and expands. They don't know it, but none of them will leave this encounter alive. The 7th layer is not simply a title, but a mythical order steeled to face opponents of unimaginable power and scale. Self-trained killers are merely pebbles on the road to true challenge, and tonight this so-called Deep Eater is the only foe of worth, a massive isopod with sickly flesh-colored plates and a mean-looking maw of bloody teeth. From the depths of Nilah's being, a hungry joy begins to swell. What happens next is a blur. Nilah bounds across the room with frightening speed, cutting through her unassuming opponents while wearing that same cheerful, unmoving smile. Each strike of her blade connects with the force of a towering ocean wave, yet the dancing water is sharp as polished stone. Nilah glides between blows, beautiful and deadly, as her enemies are blasted apart. In seconds, all that's left is the Deep Eater. Considering that the words 10 oars had suggested a beast of much larger proportions, This one isn't too bad, about the size of a covered wagon. Not the most exciting opponent Nilah's ever faced, but here in Bilgewater, it was something that would get people talking. They'd remember this victory, and that was all that mattered. Yeah, all she cares about is getting like a big challenge, right? Nilah leaps onto its back, her formless blade flickering in the night air. Beast of the deep, may you find joy, she sings, and she slices the monster clean in half. May you find joy. So what exactly are you looking for the Sentinels for? Asks Graves, consigned to either having this conversation or being cut into little pieces. We disbanded mostly, and I pawned all my stuff, so you're not getting those magic rocks or whatever. Viego of Camivore will free himself someday, Nilah replies, her smile now kind. See, that's what I kept saying after we reacted to Viego and all that ruination stuff. Friendly even, the magic binding him is Hellion, and it is weakening over time. My people are in an unimaginable danger. Hey, we beat him once, replies Graves. He's strong, but we can probably do it again. He is not the true threat, Malcolm Graves, says Nilah. His ruinations write new magic into the world, an act that drives demonkind berserk, enough to stir their primeval forebears. Okay, so it's not even actually Viego himself that is the threat. She's saying his ruinations write new magic that drives all of her demonkind berserk, so all of the other demons, and it says enough to stir their primeval forebears. That's very ominous. Oh, here we go. 10 lords long forgotten, the 10 demons. She continues tapping the sphere at her side, who must never be allowed to wake. See, that's so cool. Yeah, if the 10 demons all end up waking up, I feel like that's bad, right? Demons, huh, says Graves. You're not a demon, are ya? No, Nilah laughs. Not entirely. Yeah, not entirely, but she's clearly like using a demon power, or like is kind of a demon. I don't know. The ascetic performs another hand gesture, reciting something under her breath. As she speaks, Graves gazes at her sphere of prismatic liquid, which seems to draw him in. An unconscious smile curls at the edge of his lips as high-pitched, whispering laughter rings in his ears. It seems like the metal hands are almost offering up to him. Don't look too closely, Nilah warns, and Graves snaps back to attention. The beast is always hungry. Oh. Nilah claps her hands on her hips. But the hour is late, and I fear you have no further answers to give me. I will retire to my room, she says matter-of-factly, walking past a confused Graves as she circles the damaged dining room, climbs up the restaurant stairwell. If you encounter any monstrosities of note, come find me so I can slay them. If you encounter Oyster Bill, tell him that I apologize for tonight's damage. She's so weird as a demon. It's very interesting. It is good to meet a fellow hero, Malcolm Graves. Oh, okay, she's acknowledging him as a hero. A door closes upstairs and the woman is gone. Graves flicks his broken toothpick to the ground, bitten through in all the excitement. He reaches for a replacement but finds none, so instead gazes quietly out into the street where 6 dead bodies and 2 halves of a giant marine loose are scattered. The Sentinels ruined my life, he says to no one in particular. Neat lady, though. Really? Did the Sentinels ruin Graves' life? I mean, I don't truly know Graves' story or biography or anything like that, but, you know, I do know he was a part of the Sentinels. And wasn't he overtaken by Viego at one point, if I recall? Okay, Nilah is pretty interesting. I will say she is not what I expected. Okay, so what I learned so far from the biography and the story. So she utters random like verses under her breath quietly. She's like randomly always doing it. And it seems like she's doing it with all the time. I guess even in the middle of conversation, during combat, kind of whenever. Another thing we learned was you can sometimes see very faintly, Graves is saying, the actual Ashlesh power or the demon itself of joy with these blue phantasmal hands. So Ashlesh seems to be like a blue demon where Fiddlesticks is red, right? And Evelyn is purple, I guess. And yeah, so the Ashlesh power is very water-based. She can do all kinds of crazy cool stuff with it. I'm wondering why, if she's saying the beast is always hungry, is that what feeds the demon? I guess like, it's a little weird how I'm wondering how the demon actually feeds compared to like Evelyn and Fiddlesticks and Tom Kench and stuff, because, you know, Fiddlesticks feeds on fear, Evelyn feeds on like agony, and then obviously we have Tom Kench, which is greed. So like, how does she feed on joy is kind of my question here, when I don't think she's killing happy things or getting joy out of, you know what I mean? I don't know. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on though to the rest of the reaction. We got a bunch of other things we can check out. Let's do her gameplay stuff and see how she actually plays in the game. I'm very curious. All right, let's dive into the champion trailer that came out for Nilah. Oh, we're getting like an actual cinematic here. Hold on. We don't get these very often.
Evils, ancient and deadly, exist in every corner of the world.
Okay.
They have made themselves comfortable, taking what is not theirs, gorged on the suffering of others.
This is a different type of cinematic.
Face them all. and crush them.
Okay.
Lord of the waters,
Okay, hold on. I'm pausing. What is this thing? Okay.
grant me swiftness for this trial.
All right, there she is. Walking on water. Whoa. That blade looks
Joy,
awesome.
unceasing and forever.
She's a water
That
bender.
was fast. Should I have held back? Ha!
Okay.
The epic of Nilah does not
She looks
end here.
of Nilah. Oh, is that how
I
you're supposed to
slay
say it?
foes the size of mountains.
I've been saying it wrong.
You were fine, I guess. Give me 5, demon. Ow! That was way too hard.
Oh, they're high-fiving each other? Twisted Fate's gone.
I will face the great villains of myth and live forever in song.
So it's Nilah. Okay.
Prepare for death.
She's laughing all the time, of course.
Now you know what you're up against.
The blade is kind of weird. She's just smiling as she sees this. Really?
I am Nilah of the 7th layer. May you find joy in the world beyond.
That was a different... So that was like a typical trailer where they showed them on the actual, in the
I hope
game.
the heavens are watching. I hope they're nervous.
I hope they're nervous. I like that. Oh, that's the actual demon's hands there. But they had actual like cinematic here, which was different. Okay. Yeah, that was very cool. Let's just go ahead and dive in and see what her actual abilities are. All right, here we have the champion spotlight. Oh, there's Nautilus.
Nilah is an endlessly joyful melee marksman who makes waves with
Melee
the strength of her
marksman.
allies. She steals power from the demon of joy, Ashlesh, siphoning incomparable magic from his prison.
Okay.
With every step, her water whip slays monsters that would destroy the world.
Water whip.
So the legends say.
I'm getting everything
Welcome
wrong.
to the Nilah Champion Spotlight.
Joy,
All right, it's a whip, not a sword.
unceasing and forever.
All right.
Nilah's passive, Joy Unending, makes ally heals and shields more powerful on her, increasing their value by a small amount.
Okay.
When a nearby ally casts an ability that heals or shields Nilah or themselves, Joy Unending buffs both of them for the bonus value.
Oh, very
See,
nice.
Everyone's happier when Nilah's around.
Okay.
Joy protect you.
Though she's quick to crush foes, Nilah is a caring friend. When she last hits a minion, she'll whip up some bonus experience and split it with the nearest ally.
Oh, that's so
Such
cool. She's definitely like a team
Use
player
Nilah's
then.
Q Formless Blade to attack enemies with her water whip. Roll 3d10. Wait, no, that's not right.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Formless,
the formless
blade,
blade.
strikes in a line,
Well, see,
damaging
it's calling it a
all
blade
enemies
here.
hit. Hitting an enemy increases Nilah's attack range and attack speed for a few seconds.
Oh, very
and her
nice.
basic attacks will splash in a cone, dealing additional damage. Formless Blade has a short cooldown. If you hit
Okay.
it consistently, your sustained AoE will wash enemies away.
Wow.
My waters cut deep.
With Formless Blade's
That looks like a
passive,
fun ability.
damage against champions will ignore some of their armor and heal Nilah for part of the damage dealt.
Wow.
This effect scales with a crit chance and can overheal, granting a shield.
Dude, look at
Nilah's
that
W
ability,
shrouds her
that
in
Q.
Jubilant Veil, where she briefly gains bonus move speed and dodges all incoming basic attacks. She
Oh.
also takes reduced magic damage to really rain on her enemy's parade.
Okay.
Touching an allied champion hides them in the veil as well, but
Whoa.
they'll be protected for a shorter period.
She is very much
With
so
her-
like a work with your teammates kind of
Demon hunting
champion.
responsibilities, Nilah must be swift as a coursing river. Her E, Slipstream, lets her dash through a target unit, damaging
Okay.
all enemies she passes through.
Okay.
Nilah can hold 2 charges of Slipstream at once.
2,
and she'll
okay.
always move for a set distance, so get ready to go with the flow. Cast Formless Blade during Slipstream to pull a wave in your path, dealing damage and activating your
Oh.
empowered attacks. Nilah unleashes
All right,
a
here we
surge
go.
of power with her ultimate, Apotheosis, flashing her whip in an
Apotheosis.
area around her. With the final burst, she pulls
Ooh,
enemies
pulls
in
them
toward the center.
in?
Apotheosis heals Nilah for part of the damage dealt, converting any excess healing into a shield.
She seems
This
like a
effect scales with crit chance
pretty
and is granted to nearby allies.
easy-ish
After all,
character.
joy is meant to be shared.
Now you know what you're up
That
against.
ability, pulling them in and everything, I mean, like, that's pretty good.
In lane,
just in
longer
general.
range opponents can easily poke Nilah out, So rely on Joy Unending to keep you healthy and gain extra experience.
Right.
Nilah's self-healing and armor penetration scale with crit chance, so you'll need a few items before you're really whipped into shape.
Okay.
When you're ready to dive in, managing Nilah's mobility is key to giving your enemies whiplash. As a melee marksman, she has to be especially alert to stay out of hot water against tanky frontliners and bruisers. Slipstream has a long cooldown, but it holds 2 charges and targets allies as well as enemies. It's a powerful tool for maneuvering around a team fight, if you use it wisely. Jubilant Veil can also ensure Nilah's survival by blocking basic attacks, and you can even use it to protect your teammates in a pinch.
She seems really fun to play.
There may be an I in Nilah, but there isn't one in team. She wants to be the star of every fight, but be sure to stick with friends who can keep her alive. Without support, your tail might end up with an H2 oh no!
Yeah, I don't know how good she is at 1v1ing maybe, but
Nilah's true
you want to be with a
power lies
teammate
in
anyways,
mid and
usually.
late game team fights when your foes are grouped up for cutting down. Activate Formless Blade's passive as often as possible, and you'll topple the greatest of giants. Clump up enemies with Apotheosis, then use Formless Blade to empower your attacks and deal tons of damage. Combined with ally heals and shields, you'll slice through the enemy like a whip sword through butter.
Dude, the whip blade looks so fun.
Grace and the water-bending whip sword. The Joy Unbound will slay with a smile.
Is that an Academy skin?
Epic of Nilah at the links below.
And how strong are you?
Oh, the heart. Nice. All right, so that's Nilah. Yeah, guys, let me know about Nilah. I want to roll back a little bit. She looks really fun to play, and she doesn't look too, like, in terms of me playing her or something, she doesn't seem too difficult. I mean, you got her passive, which just, you know, buffs, shields, and healing. Her Q, which is just like a basic whip attack. Her W, which makes it so she can't take damage, and she can give it to her teammates. And then, you know, we got the ultimate, which is very good. It's just an AoE that pulls people in. And then her E, which is just like a dash that does damage, and you get 2 of them. So very nice. I think she seems really fun. What I notice is, you know, when she's walking in the lane and everything, she's like hopping the entire time or skipping almost, which is kind of like to me, it makes sense. I know a lot of the characters or champions will they all have different walks, right? But she's like skipping, which is kind of like funny because, you know, she's supposed to be happy, and that's, you know, so it makes total sense. I think she looks really fun. Now, I know Nilah is a newer champion. She hasn't been out too long, but let me know your guys' thoughts on her, you know, being put out into the meta, kind of where she stands now in the meta of things. I always want to hear from actual League of Legends players, you know, where is she kind of lying in the meta right now? I'm sure they usually, so like with other games, I can always hear, like, usually when a new character or hero or champion comes out, sometimes they're a little OP, right? And then they like tone them down. I don't know if Riot does the same thing with League of Legends. Like when a new champion comes out, are they a little OP and then they kind of tone them down a little bit, and then that's when, you know, things start to like settle down a little bit with them? Or, you know, how does that really work whenever a new champion comes out? Anyway, she looks really fun to play. You guys let me know if anybody plays her in the comments. All right, now we have a little special video. It looks like the Wild Rift came out with the champion overview just 3 weeks ago. So this is a very recent video. Now I know it's probably going to be very similar to the champion spotlight we just watched, but it is a brand new trailer, so we might as well check it out.
I need only 3 weapons: water, muscle, mind.
Water, muscle, and mind. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Okay, we're seeing the ult there.
Water to me.
Yep, Joy Unending, heal from critical strikes. Excess healing becomes a shield. I like the healing capability that she has. Yeah, Formless Blade just seems really fun. Really good. And then gaining attack speed after that, like you start attacking pretty quick there, yeah. Envelop self in mist, it says. Yeah, dodge enemy attacks and gain movement speed. Right, and you gain movement speed. Take less magic damage and grant mist to nearby. Like that Jubilant Veil is just such a good ability in my opinion. That seems really good. Oh, attacks reduce cooldown with Slipstream. Okay. Yeah, Apotheosis. What does that word even actually mean? Is it a real word? Oh, allies get healed too. Very nice. Slay with a smile. I kind of like that. Slay with a smile.
Such happiness!
Such happiness. Yeah, you know what, guys? We're playing video games. We're supposed to be happy. And what is this? Is that a Soul Fighter? Oh, wow. Very nice. The Soul Fighter event that's going on right now. So they came out with a Soul Fighter version of Nilah. Very cool. You guys will have to let me know how you think the Soul Fighter event's been going on. I feel like I hear it's pretty popular, pretty nice, pretty good. Yeah, this was a pretty good video. I mean, you guys let me know. I know there are some of you that do play Wild Rift in the comments. You guys have let me know in the past. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of Nilah and Wild Rift. Let's go ahead and keep moving on, though. All right, next up, we have Nilah, the Joy Unbound Champion theme. This one's a little longer at 3 minutes, and it's only a year old. So here we go. What kind of vibes are we going to get with this one? Oh, yeah, and we get to see the concept art. They've been doing that a little bit now. Okay, I like it. Ooh. That flute coming in. I like the designs there. It's very nice. I mean, it makes sense that it would be a little happy, right? Oh, we're getting concept art from the cinematic that they made as well. Okay, yeah. This is pretty cool. I like this. It's pretty good. Oh. What is she saying? Can I turn on closed captions? No. Oh, you guys will have to tell me what she's saying in this. Oh, somebody had to have broken this down and found out what they're actually saying in this. This is not what you expect for a theme for a character that has a demon inside of them, right? But I guess it's the demon of joy. It's very different for sure. I'm assuming these are like super early concepts, because she does look a little different than that. Yeah. See, I want to call that a blade because it's got a hilt that looks very much like a blade. And I guess one of the abilities is technically you turn it into a blade. This is a very fun song. Oh, here we go. It's getting more refined into what she looks like. Yeah, there we go. She wears very baggy clothes most of the time. Telling you, she's just a waterbender from Avatar. With the demon. Are we gonna hear those lyrics again, or like whatever she was saying at the beginning? I don't know if we're gonna hear that again. Very fast-paced song. I think that fits her well. All those drums, yeah. Oh, I love this finished artwork here for her. Very nice. That was very good. Very, very good. Man, they kill it every time. We you know what? We're going to call them out this time. What do we got? We got production credits go to music by composer Ben Hicks. Vocals. I can't say that. I can't say any of these names. But wait, there's somebody named Ahsoka that played the violin for this song. Excuse me. Somebody's named Ahsoka? Oh no, Ashoka. Oh, I got confused there for a minute. Anyways, props to all these people that worked on this song. It's very good every time. Riot, great job. This was very fun. I like this. Again, it's not a song that you think is for a demon character. Again, I know Nilah's like technically not a demon. She just has a demon. She's using demon powers, but you know what I mean? Same thing, kind of. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments about the theme. All right, everybody, it's going to be a little uneventful skin look here for Nilah because, you know, she's so new. We only have 2 skins, it looks like. So there's the original skin here. And then what else do we have? Oh, right. We have the... Okay, so it wasn't an Academy skin, but it is a Star Guardian skin. Let's read the paragraph for it. A powerful outer guardian who patrols the wider universe, Nilah has faced multiple reality-ending threats and returned alive, making her a living legend among her peers. Asked to act as a teacher to the new generation, she has reluctantly accepted her new responsibilities, though if a particularly big monster appears in VC, she always calls dibs. Right, fair enough. We do have at least, you know, with the other skin, with the outer guardian skin, we have, you know, some different colors. Oh, I see that they did like a version to be back to her true colors a little bit there. That's pretty cool. So yeah, these are very good skins. You know, obviously with only the 2 skins, you know, this one is probably one that people want to own because, you know, it's kind of the only one that there is for Star Guardian right now. But let's go ahead and see if there's any trivia. The only trivia we have here is Nilah is one of 21 champions without a single ability power ratio on any ability. All right, we are going to take a look at her fandom wiki now. There may be a little bit of a repeat in here, but I feel like there's going to be a little bit more information than we received in the story and biography. So let's go ahead and dive in. The girl now known as Nilah, was born to a large family in Cathcan in the south of Camavoran continent. Since the fall of the Cathcan's violent neighbor Camavor in ancient times, the nation saw a relative peace and saw no need for warriors or heroes. The girl grew up as a bookworm obsessed with reading about the many stories and legends of Cathcani mythology, including the fall of Camavoran king Viego, the creation of the first dragons, and the origin of the universe. She was particularly interested in a story called The Cycle of Ashlesh, which told of a primordial demon named Ashlesh that consumed the extreme forms of joy. There's a little wiki here for it. Maybe we should take a look at the wiki for Ashlesh. It was said that the demon was struck down by the gods when it tried to consume their realm, being imprisoned in a lake within the 7th layer of the Cathcani underworld and guarded by a secret order of heroes. The girl obsessed over the hidden order and unraveled the many riddles within that story of Ashlesh, discovering that this order was secretly hidden beneath the heart of the Cathcani capital. Seeking to learn more about them and wishing to stand among them as an equal, she set off to find and learn their secrets and the truths behind the myth. The girl managed to find Ashlesh's prison and delved into it, disappearing from public knowledge and going missing. All evidence of the girl's existence faded away. Written records of the girl suddenly evaporated. Her true name faded from all writings, and even her own friends and family had their memories of her erased as if she'd never been born. See, now, why did that happen? That's a very interesting thing that occurred. And then I see we have the emblem of the 7th layer where the demon Ashlesh is imprisoned. It's just oh, very interesting. You can see the hands of Ashlesh here. And it's 7 hands, isn't it? Oh, that's very cool. Okay, and then we have Return from the 7th layer. After 10 years, the girl resurfaced out of Ashlesh's prison as a stranger in her own homeland. Now a grown woman, she adopted the name Nilah, named after the legendary river of fate in Cathcani mythology. The truth about Nilah's 10-year absence remains unknown, as even Nilah herself doesn't say. Theories on what happened to Nilah during her absence range from her discovering and training with the Hidden Order of Heroes, while others theorize that she bested the demon Ashlesh after a decade-long battle in darkness. Yeah, it's true, we really don't know what happened. Some even believe that the girl never emerged at all, that the Nilah that emerges is actually a pretender wearing her flesh as a disguise. Ooh. Whatever the truth was, Nilah held a glass jar containing a tamed and imprisoned Ashlesh on her hip. It's clear, though, that Nilah paid a terrible price for the demon's imprisonment, cursed with a permanent feeling of joy, suppressing all other emotions and completely losing her true identity. You know what would be actually freaking crazy is, you know, obviously she's always expressing the emotion of joy, right? I don't know why I just thought of this now, but like, it's like almost like a crazy story to think if deep down joy is 1000% not what Nilah is feeling, right? She's probably feeling like her body's taken over. She's sad, she's mad, or whatever, right? Like every other emotion but joy is actually what she's feeling, but the demon is only making her feel joy, which would be crazy. With newfound supernatural strength and a liquid blade formed by the power of Ashlesh, Nilah set off on a legendary quest to slay a multitude of threats based on the many stories she read about as a child. She slew many great beasts of Cathcani mythology as the progenitor dragon grandmother Viper, the demon of change Imago, and the mad demigod Nabavelicus. Nilah traveled the world and grew obsessed with slaying giant evils to save the helpless and protect her homeland. She would defeat each new foe in a spectacle of water and colors, slowly being regarded as a legendary hero for those that witnessed her great deeds. You know, with her power, I'm trying to put her on like a power ranking level lore wise. I feel like, I mean, I guess we don't really know until we see her go up against maybe another champion, say like another powerful champion. You know, she is defeating a lot of like big things like Grandmother Viper, the Demon of Change Imago. She's defeating like a bunch of Krakens out in Bilgewater. But I wonder how that power level stacks up, you know, against other champions. I'm very curious. Okay, and then we have Viego's, oh, this is recent events. So Viego's imprisonment. After the defeat of Viego at the hands of the Sentinels of Light, the Ruined King was imprisoned within Camivor's capital city of Alovedra and bound by hollowed mist placed by Gwen. Nilah noticed this from Kathkan and discovered that the magic binding Viego to his prison had begun to fade. Nilah considered Viego's ruination magic a threat due to the fact that it's capable of driving demons into a frenzy-like state, potentially waking up the rest of the 10 primordial demons related to Ashlesh. I want that as like a major event in the future. Like, okay, that happened, like Viego starts doing the ruination stuff starts happening. I guess you can't just do the ruination event again. It wouldn't be as cool. But like maybe having the demons go into a frenzy-like state and waking up the other primordial demons, and then like we start getting new demon champions, that'd be really cool. Learning about the legends of the Sentinels of Light, she traveled westward to seek their aid in stopping Viego from escaping his prison. And then arrival in Bilgewater. So this is going to have to do with the grave story that we read. Running across the Guardian Sea, she arrived in Bilgewater and instantly began slaying giant sea serpents around the port city. So yeah, like what other champions would also be able to slay giant sea serpents? Like, would Yasuo and Ahri be able to do the same thing? Like solo, one-on-one, right? I'm wondering. Word quickly spread about her strange arrival and amazing feats as she became something of a celebrity monster hunter. She would ask around Bilgewater for information about the Sentinels and rented out a room above Oyster Bill's Oyster Shack, where she currently resides. While living at the Oyster Shack, she would often get into dazzling fights with troublesome monsters or locals, such as a rowdy band of Noxians that knocked over her oysters. Nilah would meet the infamous outlaw Malcolm Graves, a former sentinel that Nilah had heard about. While challenging him in combat, Nilah attempted to get information out of him about the other Sentinels of Light. Graves, trying to avoid Nilah, explains that the group actually disbanded shortly after defeating Viego, and that he pawned off the rest of his Sentinel gear, completely unaware of where the other Sentinels currently are. So I'm wondering if she's going to go searching out for the other Sentinels, right? That would be, in my mind, what she would be going to do. So she's probably not going to stay in Bilgewater much longer, unless some of them are still there, right? In the middle of the fight, a group of mercenaries entered the tavern with some deep eaters seeking to collect a bounty on Nilah's head. Nilah effortlessly defeats them all and concludes that Graves is telling the truth, bidding him farewell as she returns to her room to rest and continue her quest another day. So yeah, that's kind of where we have left off. Okay, so appearance. Nilah is a tall and slender woman with dark skin and an athletic, lanky physique. Her hair is dark brown in color, very long, and braided into 2 pigtails that meet at the bottom of her back in the shape of a circle. Her eyes are a bright violet color that changes to a pale blue when she uses her powers. Due to her curse, she has an almost permanent smile on her face that is seen as somewhat unsettling and even intimidating. Yeah, I would say it's unsettling. Nilah wears a yellow tunic with dark blue, baggy purple pants and a brown glove on her right hand. I'm wondering, like, is her clothing style, you know, does that have to do with her country that she comes from? I imagine, right? She has 2 earrings in the shape of large blue orbs on her ears, and her left earring connects to a nose ring by a silver chain. Her outfit has many intricate details made of a dark silvery metal and styled with lots of hand imagery. Something that ties her back to her home. Oh, there we go. Ties her back to her home culture of Kathkan. On her hip, she has a metal trinket shaped like 2 hands, holding a bright blue orb made of glass and filled with prismatic water, the prison for the demon Ashlesh. Personality. When Nilah was a young girl, she was a shy bookworm, constantly daydreaming about the many stories and myths she would read. She took a particular interest in the cycle of Ashlesh and obsessed over finding the mystical order of heroes that the story spoke of. I want to know about those heroes. Having immense knowledge on the many myths of Kathkani culture, she was capable of discovering Ashlesh's prison, the Kathkani capital, and delved into it in search of knowledge and to become a hero alongside them. Nilah was very, very different after her 10-year absence, now cursed by Ashlesh with a permanent feeling of intense joy and the suppression of any other emotion. Nilah is actually aware of the emotions that are being suppressed, but she cannot outwardly express them, such as how she laments the sorrow of having her very existence erased from her homeland. Despite this, she is a fearless heroine, always aiming to save the helpless, especially her homeland. She's incredibly confident and obsessed with slaying giant foes, both to reenact the many myths she read as a child, as well as to test her own strength. Nilah speaks with a consistently upbeat tone and happily recites many mantras and prayers for Kathkani culture, even in the middle of combat. Okay, so that's what she's doing. She has a signature laugh that is known to echo throughout the battlefield whenever she fights a foe. Oh, that's pretty scary. All right, so abilities. Demonic Bonding. Nilah is in command of the many abilities of Ashlesh, one of the 10 primordial demons and the Lord of Joy in Kathkani mythology. So Ashlesh, 100% one of the 10 primordial, yeah? She utilizes many abilities granted by Ashlesh, but is cursed with an eternal feeling of joy, suppressing all other emotions. Emotional feeding. Like other demons, Ashlesh feeds itself with emotions, specifically joy, by absorbing the joy of others. Ashlesh, and by extension Nilah, can sustain themselves for prolonged periods of time. So, okay, so they do feed off of joy from other people. To keep from being completely consumed by Ashlesh, Nilah must recite mantras and prayers to keep the demon's influence at bay. Oh, no way. Water manipulation. By drawing on the waters of Ashlesh's prison, Nilah can magically manipulate water in a variety of ways. She has shown abilities ranging from summoning currents to crash into enemies, creating a liquid whip out of Ashlesh's magical waters, or even shrouding herself in a mist to make her immune to harm. And then she has water walking. Yep, Nilah is capable of easily treading across open oceans as if they were solid ground, having traveled the entirety of the Guardian Sea to reach Bilgewater by foot. Okay, enhanced strength and agility. When Nilah returned from her 10-year absence, she inexplicably possessed a more wiry acrobatic strength after bonding with Ashlesh. She has easily taken down many giant foes without any lethal damage thanks to her capabilities in dodging dangerous attacks with her acrobatics, as well as striking enemies with immense strength with her Arumi. She 100% seems like she is pretty powerful. I mean, I guess we haven't seen her be tested up against anybody yet. We'll just have to see what they do with her in the future. Arumi proficiency. Nilah is able to create a formless blade, also known as an Arumi, out of Ashlesh's waters. As her primary weapon in battle, she shows great skill in utilizing it to strike giant foes with immense strength and power. And then mythology mastery. Since she was a child, Nilah had an immense knowledge on the many myths, legends, and stories of Kathkani culture, and possibly many other parts of Runeterra. Her knowledge of these many legends have given her a good basis on where to find great mythological foes she wishes to battle. That's very true. I didn't think about that. That's kind of like having the history stat and or like a history/religion stat in like D&D or something. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 if you couldn't tell. Okay, so relationships. Viego. Nilah initially read stories about Viego's fall and the eventual collapse of Camivore in books and myths. After Viego got imprisoned in Alavedra, his influence threatened Kathkan and drew Nilah's attention. She's more concerned with the implications of his ruination magic and how it affects demons, as Viego's ruinations cause them to go into mad frenzies and could potentially wake up the remaining primordial demons. Discovering Viego's imprisonment is what caused Nilah to travel westward in search of the legendary Sentinels of Light. So my question is, though, it sounds like this is the first time we are actually hearing of the ruination magic affecting demons. Like during the whole ruination event, was there ever any mention whatsoever on its effects of demons or of Darkin or anything like that? Was there any mention of that during that actual event, or is Nilah's introduction the first time we hear about it? Because I'm very curious if she knows this information, because probably when the ruination event was happening, she was with Ashlesh at the time and he started going into a frenzy, maybe. I don't know. Or Ashlesh has told her this information, right? Probably telling her that, like, yeah, we can't let this ruination thing happen because I start losing it or something, right? Okay, Sentinels of Light. Nilah is on a quest to keep Viego from breaking free in order to save her homeland and stop his ruinations from reawakening the 10 primordial demons. To do this, she needs the aid of the legendary Sentinels of Light, whom she only read about in stories. Oh, right, okay. Graves. I don't think we need to read the Graves one. Well, let's go ahead. Nilah encountered Graves in Oyster Bill's Oyster Shack, tracking him down after asking around Bilgewater for information regarding the Sentinels of Light. Her investigation led her to Graves, who she fought in an attempt to get information and convince him to help her on a quest. It's revealed that the Sentinels of Light actually disbanded shortly after defeating Viego, as Graves already pawned off his Sentinel gear away. Nilah regards Graves as a friend and a fellow hero of legend, but not the one she seeks in her quest to find a way to stop Viego from awakening the demons. Though it's unclear whether or not Graves also regards Nilah as a friend, he has shown to be mostly freaked out by her, intimidated by the encounter, but also intrigued as he sees her as a neat lady. Yeah, okay, so I forgot about that. So in the story, Nilah does recognize him as a hero, of legend, and he was kind of like, okay, she's a neat lady, I guess. Ooh, Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is one of the 10 primordial demons that Nilah is concerned with keeping asleep. It is the eldest sibling of Ashlesh, the same demon that Nilah encountered and keeps trapped within a jar on her hip. Though Nilah recognizes Fiddlesticks as well as all the primordial demons as a threat to the world, she's supremely confident in her ability to fight them back utilizing the power of Ashlesh. Okay. I'm wondering if this comes from maybe the Voicelines that we learn about this. And then we have Oyster Bill. Oyster Bill is an oyster man in Bilgewater who owns Oyster Bill's Oyster Shack. While gaining status as a famous sea monster hunter in Bilgewater, she rented out a spare room in the shack and currently resides there. Oyster Bill often tells stories about Nilah and her amazing feats to the visitors of his shack, even allowing visitors to speak to her if they wish. Okay. Very nice. And we just have a tiny, tiny bit of trivia. So Nilah comes from Cathcan, country on the same eastern continent as Camivore. Nilah is currently staying in Bilgewater, renting out the spare room from above Oyster Bill's Oyster Shack. Nilah is something similar to an aspect host, the difference being that her power source is an inhuman and extremely evil monster rather than a celestial entity. And then Nilah's name might come from the South Asian language Telugu, where that language is pronounced Nilu, meaning water. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so of course, guys, she's a little bit of a newer character, so a lot of the trivia and all that stuff isn't filled out. We haven't had too many things with her yet. There's not many stories, not many, biographies or other things to learn about Nilah from. But this is still a lot of information, and I think she's a really interesting character. I mean, obviously, because she has the demon power of Ashlesh, which is very fun and interesting. Let's go ahead and finally do the voice lines, guys. All right, everybody. So as you can see, we're going to do the skin spotlights video. We're going to do the voice lines video first, which is about 7.5 minutes. And then there's another special interactions video, which is about 5.5 minutes, also from skin spotlights. So let's start off with the voice lines.
Is this a test, gods? I hope you don't mind losing your aspect.
Oh, I need the words down here, but let's listen.
Fallen lords of light, now flesh and rage. Will you face me? You are nothing, demon. I've crushed hundreds of your kind. Lord.
Oh, you are nothing, demon. I've crushed hundreds of your kind. So she must be talking about lesser demons. And okay, there must be a lot of lesser demons.
To fear? I know what you really are, and I know how to kill you. How many times must I embarrass you, Malcolm Graves? Test me, Alawi. I know I will prevail. To think, the brave Callista of Camivore reduced to this. Your ancestors and mine once shared a homeland, Darha. Twin faces of death. I test my...
So these are going a little fast. But what's very crazy to me, and I guess it makes total sense, is like the emotion in her voice lines are always one of joy and happiness. And it's so weird. Like I was expecting her voice not to be exactly the same every time, but it totally is.
I meddle against the end itself. I know your name, San Uzal. You are...
San Uzal. Who's that?
Weak to fear death. Atreus, is it? Few are worthy to hold power such as ours. You left Viego on our doorstep, Sentinel. Not very neighborly. We are not alike, Jericho Swain. I know the price I paid. Tobias Felix.
Oh, see, that's interesting.
You're a cheat and a bad friend, and I don't like you.
Hold on, we got to go back to the Swain thing. She knows the price she paid to utilize the power of Ashlesh, while Swain doesn't know his fate fully. Right? Is that what we're essentially getting at?
Viego, we didn't fall to Camivore when you lived, and I won't fall now. You have begun to fade, thousand-pierced bear. But I will give you one...
Who's the bear?
One last battle. Ha! First of nothing. Tell the other 8 where to find me. Conquer...
First of nothing. Is that... Tell the other 8 to find me. She's talking to Fiddlesticks there. I guess maybe we'll see some of these in the special interactions.
The foe before you, no matter how great. Now you know what you're up against. That was fast. Should I have held back? Call me when you need me, Malcolm Graves. But I tire of this. Strange. I feel a third presence. Something far older. The greatest...
A third presence, something far older. We don't know the context there.
Foes are mine alone. Let no one forget. Malcolm Graves deserved better. Old Camivore's evil ends where it began.
She's got a lot of Graves
with a
lines.
broken heart. An enemy of skill and worth. I thank you. Another chapter in the epic of Nilah. I slay foes the size of mountains.
True.
You were... fine, I guess. When you meet...
Okay, I love that. I love the way she said that line.
the demon, warn him of my strength. I am a power far beyond you, I'm afraid. May you find joy in the world beyond. The river of fate drowns the unworthy. I am the living joy. Remember my name.
Man, see, it's like the way she's delivering the line is crazy.
Nilah, Baron Nashor. I wonder which of us is stronger. A
Baron
perfect
Nashor.
enemy to test my skill. Beast of ancient legend, face me. I have slain greater dragons than you. Give my regards to the viper worms. I've
The viper
waited a
worms.
long time to fight a myth like you. Finally, a true monster of the old world.
This is probably her fighting the creatures in the jungle, right? That's what I imagine. Because, you know, she's probably going to have voice lines for each of the special creatures in the jungle, I would imagine, anyway.
Don't hold back, Voidborn. I want this to be fair. Prepare yourself, Herald of the Rift. Give me 5, demon. Ow!
Give me
What
5,
are you doing?
demon.
That was way too hard. You sound nervous. Are you compensating? Do you need a moment? I am Nilah of the 7th layer. Accept my challenge. You speak with great passion, but 0 brain. Where have you left your mind? True happiness lies in the heart of battle. Let us claim it. Prepare yourself. Joy will not falter. I am Nilah of the 7th layer. Let us begin. In death, Ashlesh, my spirit is yours. But in life, your strength and joy belong to me. I am...
Okay, so your strength and joy belong to me, but in her death, all her joy belongs to him, or her spirit belongs to Ashlesh. So Ashlesh must get something out of that deal. Her spirit, which I don't know, maybe he'll then eventually fully take over. I don't know.
I'm unbound from the world, mighty and joyous. May evil tremble before me. Ashlesh, Lord of Joy, for stealing my name and my fate, I claim your power. Joy is not an easy power to master. It infects you, becomes you. I prefer my enemies.
I like the way she's talking about that.
Stories tall. Keeps things fair. 7 hands reach for 7 locks, yearning to break free. I exist in but a single moment. Eternal, unbreaking bliss.
That one about the 7 locks is a little interesting. I don't know if you guys have any more clarification on that one. 7 layers, I don't know.
My past is gone, traded for the strength to do good. I will face the great villains of myth and live forever in song. Raging demigods, dragons, the age of the world. Not enough. Who's
Not
next?
enough.
The Lord of Joy rages in his prison, his power taken by me. Evil hides in every corner of the world, but I always find it. Bilgewater is nice. There's always something big to kill. They can't remember the woman I was, but will know the hero I am. Cast down, he fell, reaching upward with his 7 hands. Ashlesh turned to gaze upon the stars, and his hungers only grew. He rested.
Okay, so she's talking about Ashlesh in like the way you would, not a demon, but something that you admire, right?
Now, trapped in the 7th layer, deep beneath the waters. The epic of Nilah does not end here. Ha! My joy endures. My legend remains unwritten.
Oh, the laugh.
Here
Oh,
I
no.
am. Face me.
Do not
Advance.
like that.
Joy has found you. The time is now. Close in. Prepare for death. Joy protect you. The river carries you. Gentle waters cover them. Feel bliss.
Jeez, these are so
Embrace
fast.
Joy. Delightful. Joyous.
Embrace joy.
Water,
I like that
strike,
one.
Surge with speed. Again. Flow. Felicity. Jubilation. Water. Rise.
Jubilation.
No foe can match me. Challenge me here. Dance upon the lake. Move like the river. This is my domain. Remember my name.
Okay, this is
Joy
her
was
dying.
my choice. I would choose it again.
Joy
When
was
you
my
flow as
choice.
Water, nothing can harm you.
I mean, if you had to choose one of the emotions, I guess joy would be it, right?
There is great power behind this smile. Be wary. Bring me more foes to defeat. Turn darkness against itself. The bigger they
Turn
are,
darkness
the
against
better the
itself.
fight. Cast away fear and spit in the eye of evil. I will topple giants. Bliss in life and bliss forever after. May we lose ourselves to joy. River of fate, guide me to greatness.
River of
Master
fate.
one evil, then destroy the rest. My epic will be long and joyous. For this strength, I gave everything. Triumph
Yeah.
and exaltation. I need only 3 weapons. Water, muscle, mind. No
Water, muscle, mind. So she has mentioned in a little bit of the lines here, I'm pausing for a little bit. She has mentioned, and maybe it has to do with her knowledge of all the Kathkani myths and legends around Runeterra and things like that. But she is essentially saying, like, you know, smarts are pretty important. along with muscle and water.
God nor devil can stop me. Rage in your prison, demon. I am in control.
Oh, so is Ashlesh actually raging in there? Is he actually mad about it? But like they had to have made a deal.
It is thrilling to face the beasts of old. Water binds us as it binds the demon. May these battles ink the pages of history. No adversary is too powerful for me. All
Yeah, so far it doesn't seem so.
I feel is joy. It is difficult. Leave your
Oh, okay. So she's acknowledging it. She is acknowledging it.
mark on the world. Yes, claim your joy. Water to me. And how
Water to
strong
me.
are you? Find your form, water. Let the heavens bear witness. The river swells. Water, take shape. My waters cut deep. Such happiness. They will write songs
Such
about
happiness.
this. There's only you and me. Let us fight as equals. Demon, obey me. Elation. I will not fall to
Elation.
you. A worthy adversary. Joy in all things. My bliss is battle.
Okay. Wow, I needed those to be way slower, but I will take it. That was pretty good. I enjoyed a lot of that. I want to see the actual special interactions because I do want to see who she, has interactions with. But these were very cool. So I liked when I noticed when she would say like jubilation or elation, other words of joy, right, or happiness. There were some key ones in there that I would want a little bit more breakdown that I mentioned when we were listening to these. Like there was the one where she's clearly talking to Fiddlesticks. There, she clearly said awaken the 8 others, talking about the demons. There's the one about the 7 locks. I'm assuming anytime she mentions 7, it has something to do with the 7th layer. She also said that she finds it difficult to only be joyous all the time. So she did mention that. She also says Ashlesh is raging in his prison. Maybe not all the time. And maybe they didn't make a deal. Maybe she just somehow took the power against Ashlesh's, will. And we don't actually know, right? We don't know what happened down there. But it is curious to know that she said he is raging, or Ashlesh is raging in his prison. But then at the end, she said this, he gets her spirit, all of her spirit. But until that moment, until she dies, she utilizes all of his strength and power and stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the interactions. And yeah, let me know again in the comments any of those things that I may have missed or any things that I have questions about, and you guys can clarify for me, okay? All right, let's finally get the special interactions. Here we go.
Tobias Felix.
Okay,
You're
Twisted
a
Fate.
cheat and a bad friend, and I don't like you.
Okay, Twisted Fate. Didn't know she'd have an interaction with him.
Is this a test, gods?
Aspects.
I hope you don't mind losing your aspect.
Ooh.
Fallen lords of light, now flesh and rage. Will you face me?
Okay, so she is openly challenging Darken and Aspects.
You are nothing, demon.
And another
I've
demon?
crushed hundreds of your kind.
Oh, she's saying that just to any demon. Okay.
Lord of fear, I
Oh.
know what you really are, and I know how to kill you.
I know what you really are, and I know how to kill you. Well, is he not the demon of fear and the oldest demon? I don't know if she's referring to something else there. And she knows how to kill him. Interesting. Okay.
How many times must I embarrass you, Malcolm Graves? Test me, Alawi. I know I will prevail. To think, the brave Callista of Carnivore reduced to this.
Yeah. Okay.
Your ancestors
Karma.
and mine once shared a homeland, Darha.
Darha.
Twin faces of death.
Oh,
I test my mettle against the end itself.
okay. So
I
it's
know
kindred.
your name, San Uzal.
Oh,
weak to fear
Mordekaiser. Okay.
Atreus, is it?
Ah.
You are worthy to hold power such as ours.
Okay.
You left Viego on our doorstep, Sentinel. Not very neighborly.
That's what she was saying
We
at
are
the
not
center.
alike, Jericho Swain. I know the price
I
I
liked
paid.
this line. Yeah, I liked that line.
Viego, we didn't fall to Carnivore when you lived, and I won't fall now. You have begun to fade,
Oh,
thousand-pierced bear.
Folly
but
Bear.
I will give you one last battle.
That would be an interesting
True
battle.
happiness lies in the heart of battle. Let us claim it.
Okay.
Prepare
This is any.
yourself. Joy will not falter.
Okay, we're getting the voice lines. They're a little bit slower
I am
now.
Nilah of the 7th layer. let us begin.
Let us begin. Okay.
First of nothing, tell the other 8 where to find me.
That's the line. Okay.
Call me when you need me, Malcolm Graves, but I tire of this. Strange, I feel a third presence. Something far older.
Something far older, a third presence. She means the gray man, right? Am I wrong? You guys let me know.
Malcolm Graves deserved better.
Okay, that was said the twisted
evil
fate.
ends where it began, with a broken heart.
I like that one.
An enemy of skill and worth. I thank you. Another chapter in the Epic of Nilah.
Okay.
I slay foes the size of mountains.
I'm liking that we're getting these a lot slower.
Fine, I guess.
I love that line.
When you meet the demon, warn him of my strength.
You meet the demon,
I
warn
am
him
a
of my
power
strength.
far beyond you, I'm afraid. May you find joy in the world beyond.
Not only is she
The river
joyous
of
and
fate
happy,
drowns the
she's got an
unworthy.
ego, guys.
Conquer the foe before you.
If I didn't say
no
that
matter
before.
how great. Now you know what you're up against.
All right, this is for first kill. Okay.
That was fast. Should I have held back?
Pentakill?
I am the living joy. Remember my name, Nilah.
Okay.
You sound nervous. Are you compensating? Do you need a moment?
I like that one.
You speak with great passion, but
Taunt
zero
response?
brain. Where have you left your mind?
Yeah, see, there she is again with the mind
The
thing.
greatest foes are mine alone.
Oh,
Let
stealing
no
a dragon.
One forget.
Very nice.
Beast of ancient legend, face me. I have slain greater dragons than you. Give my regards to the viper worms. Don't hold
Okay, Rift
back,
Herald?
Voidborn. I
Okay.
want this to be fair.
That's who she was saying that to, the
Prepare
Voidborn.
yourself, Herald of the Rift. I've waited
then
a
Elder
long
Dragon.
time to fight a myth like you. Finally, a true monster of the old world. Baron Nashor. I wonder which of us is stronger. A perfect enemy to test my skill.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say
The
Baron
epic of
Nashor
Nilah
whatsoever,
does
right?
not end here.
All right, these are
My
respawns.
joy endures. My legend remains unwritten.
And then we'll have the first moves and whatnot, right?
In
Yeah.
death, Ashlesh, my spirit is yours.
Okay, here we go.
But in life, your strength and joy belong
My
to me.
spirit is yours.
I am unbound from the world, mighty and joyous. May evil tremble before me.
Does that mean something more than what I think? I am unbound from the world. What does that exactly mean? Mighty and joyous, may evil tremble before me. Is she just is this just another line of hers where she just has a massive ego? You know what I mean? Is there more to it?
Ashlesh, Lord of Joy, for stealing my name and my fate, I claim your power. Joy is not an easy power to master. It infects you, becomes you. I prefer my enemies several stories tall. Keeps things fair. 7 hands reach for 7 locks.
Oh, here it is.
Yearning to break free.
Okay. 7 hands reach for 7 locks, yearning to break free. So that has to be the 7 heroes, or the just, Ashlesh being 7 hands, the 7th layer. I don't truly understand the 7th layer all that much, but okay, that makes more sense to me now. It's essentially like Ashlesh is imprisoned by 7 locks.
Free. I exist in but a single
Or
moment.
each hand is locked.
Eternal, unbreaking bliss. My past is gone, traded for the strength to do good. I will face the great villains of myth and live forever in song. Raging demigods, dragons, the age of the world. Not enough. Who's
Not
next?
enough.
The
I like that.
Lord of Joy rages in his prison, his power taken by me. Evil hides
By
in
me.
every corner of the world, but I always find it. Bilgewater is nice. There's always something big to kill. They can't remember the woman I was, but will know the hero I am.
Okay, that's it. All right. These were fun. I liked them. I wanted more. Well, we got to learn a little bit more. This is all I could ask for. So we really wanted to react to Nilah because of the whole demon aspect. And it seems like we did learn a little bit more. We learned, I mean, Ashlesh is one of the other demons of the 10, the demon of joy. Like I'm pretty positive that's like 100% confirmed, unless that's just something that the community has just agreed upon or just says. And her, well, the way she treats Fiddlesticks is a little interesting. I like her line at the beginning where she's like, I know what you truly are and I know how to kill you. To me, that might be one of her most interesting interactions, because, you know, it just allows me to question more about the demons. It's the most intriguing line, in my opinion, of hers, besides some of the other ones about the 7th layer and just like Ashlesh itself. But yeah, I don't know. Any of the things related to the demons, like, I want to know more. I would love to know more. And then the other big thing that we did learn about Nilah is the whole, her wanting to stop. Her goal right now is wanting to stop Viego from being reawakened and doing the ruination stuff, which there wasn't any really mention of that in the voice lines, which is totally fine. But, you know, with the story that we got and in the fandom, to me, that's the other most interesting aspect about her character, along with the demon stuff, is this whole, if the ruination stuff comes back, it'll bring the demons into a frenzy and awaken the other demons. So the other 8 or just the other ones. So like, okay, tell me again. So Evelyn and Tom Kench are not part of the 10. I thought maybe Evelyn was, but maybe Tom Kench isn't. I'm not quite sure. You guys let me know in the comments about that one. So for sure though, Fiddlesticks, and for sure though, Ashlesh, because she even mentions, you know, awaken the other 8 or something like that, meaning she's referring to herself / Ashlesh and Fiddlesticks for sure. No mention of Tom Kench or Evelyn in this at all, or Nocturne even, right? So I keep forgetting Nocturne, but yeah. She does mention also that there's like 100 other lesser demons in the other voice line video we watched that she's like taken out already, which is pretty crazy to me. I mean, lesser demons probably mean nothing to, you know, the greater demons, I suppose you can call them. It's very interesting stuff. Yeah, just again, another recap on Nilah. Again, I think she looks like a really fun character to play in-game. You guys let me know in the comments, though, how good she is in-game, if she's in meta, if she's a pretty easy character to learn off the bat. She seems much easier than, say, Zoe, which was our last reaction. She's another character, though, where I really want, like, another story. You know how, like, some of the champions have multiple stories, right? They'll have, like, 2 to 3 stories. She's actually a champion that I would love to see another story about, because I want to know if she's going to leave Bilgewater and go look for another Sentinel of Light. And like, if she finds one of the other Sentinels of Light, like Vayne or something, or Gwen maybe, and she like interrogates them or asks them, or ultimately, right? Like, I almost want a second ruination event, but again, it can't be as cool as the first one because you've already had it happen. But the second ruination event to have the whole demon frenzy thing happen, I mean, that sounds like some big major event, so I don't know if that'll ever happen. Maybe in the MMO or something. All right, guys, if there's anything else that I missed, especially about Nilah, especially about Ashlesh, and especially about like the demons overall, like the whole lore and concept and stuff in Runeterra, if there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments, because it's one of the most interesting things that I've found about Runeterra so far. You know, obviously with our Darkens and our aspects and other things like that. But yeah, the demonology stuff in Runeterra is very interesting to me. So I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments about that stuff. All right, guys, I appreciate if you did leave a like on the video. It does help the YouTube algorithm. And then just, you know, if you liked what you watched, you might as well leave a like. And if you liked the reaction, consider subscribing to the channel. We have a bunch of other reactions you can check out on the channel. We are going to be continuing to do a video every week reacting to a new champion from League of Legends, as somebody that knows nothing about these characters. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.